All right, in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to break down our exact system on how we were able to add 10 estimates that allowed 613 Carpentry Avery to close two opportunities and add additional $50,000. He still has a couple of deals pending, and this is just in the last 30 days. How we were also able to, without zero additional ad spend with Tundra Painting, in 72 hours, revive some of his old opportunities and put 13 estimates on the board. And he's been able to since close three so far out of the estimates that we've added on his calendar. I'm going to break down the exact system that was learned from a franchise that's doing 30 million. And if this is a good fit for you guys, at the end of all of this, we're going to be offering a 7-day trial where we guarantee one estimate. But who this is not for is for operators who are good where they're at and they're not really looking to scale. They're okay with the revenue they're making. They're okay with their crew size, and they don't really have a desire to scale. This is also not for brand new businesses with no track record, because a lot of the concepts and systems that I'll be talking about won't make as much sense. And you may not have the time, energy, and resources to input to growing this side of the business while you're still on the tools. But this is for contractors who are trying to grow past their current capacity. And like I mentioned, if this is a good fit, we are going to be offering a 7-day trial where we guarantee one estimate for sure. And we have yet to not deliver on this guarantee yet with the different contractors that we've implemented this with. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to go over where contractors lose money and how we fix it. Again, this is the same process that was used for a franchise doing $30 million a year. I was doing their marketing. They were doing very well before I even got there. They were on the ground, door knocking. They had the Google ads running. And one area that I noticed within their business that they did lack on and they wanted to improve on was their Facebook ads. But before I even got there, I definitely can't take full credit for the system that they've already implemented. And what I noticed, no matter where the leads came from, whether it was door knocking, Google, or Facebook, their speed to lead and their system of follow-up allowed them to not only stay in front, but close more opportunities. So for example, in the time that I was there, we were able to generate just off of Facebook 1,200 leads, and they were able to close 26% of those for $1.2 million. And when I started implementing this system with different contractors, we noticed how there was a big gap, right? A lot of the contractors are doing a lot of the different tasks when it comes to the business, and obviously that would warrant for a lot of missed opportunities, broken systems, because they have so many things to focus on. And what we've noticed that most contractors' biggest challenges were most contractors don't have a lead issue. They have a lack of systems, right? Like I mentioned, the owner operator is doing everything from giving out the quote, going to the estimate, doing the inspection, coming back to the office, acting as the admin, and managing the crew, So although we know that contractors are working every day to improve those systems, where we're coming in is just getting you in front of more estimates so you can close more deals and bring in more revenue so you have the time to do all the other things to scale the business. So this is what a lot of contractors are looking like right now, right? And a lot of contractors don't have this issue when it comes to the marketing side of things. Like I mentioned, a lot of your business probably comes from referrals, door knocking, Google, Facebook, organic content, and past customers. The issue doesn't lie in where you're getting the opportunities in, because we have enough data to support that we're able to get contractors in front of their ideal prospect, but where it typically tends to break and the system tends to fail is what happens after the lead arrives, right? They fill out a form, they submit a text, they call in, they DM, wherever the next step for you guys is. But then speed to lead often breaks because the owner is on the tools. They reply late, whether it's hours or days because they're so busy. They do one attempt, then they stop. They don't set up a follow-up plan because they're so busy on jobs that they're currently on, and they're managing their crew. And then that creates a follow-up gap. There's no call or text cadence because the contractors feel as though that the person that inquired is not serious. They don't qualify them to the point where, they get to know their timeline, their scope of the project to see if it's actually worth the opportunity to continuously pursue. And there's no 0 to 14 day sequence when that lead comes in to kind of keep nudging them up the pipeline. So the leads go cold. There's no visibility when it comes to tracking, and then the booking breaks down. And then an unqualified lead gets booked. There's no confirmation process. There's no reminders. There's no rescheduling system. And then that equals no-shows and cancellations. And then we all know the clients that I forgot, I got busy, I'm shopping quotes with other people, I found someone else. And then the estimate and the sales gap gets bigger and bigger, and it creates a more of an uphill battle, right? So then now the estimates happen late, the quote gets sent late, and it's unclear. So, you might have clients that ghost because there's a whole bunch of details on a quote and one big number that they're not all that familiar with. And it causes them more friction to reach out to you again to get more information. Then the lead goes dead, and then you lose out on that. They only get one price, so it's easy to shop, right? You might price at $20,000 and they might go for the guy that prices at $15,000, $10,000. Even though they might be getting a worse job, they're going to save a lot of money, right? And that's kind of their mindset behind, shopping around for quotes and going for the cheaper guy. And I know you guys probably hear stories of, you guys getting undercut for the same opportunities, knowing that you guys give better quality, but they just go for the cheaper person, right? So there's no follow-up after the quote, and that equals the outcome of missed revenue, inconsistent weeks. You get into the mindset of you need more leads, right? And it becomes a lead issue. I can't get in front of more people. The market is slow, and you guys start saying these things that are not true, but it's easy to say because the other things are not working. And in slow seasons, especially in seasons where things are rolling and, it's that time of year to get your deck done, to get your basement renovated, to get your kitchen renovated, to get your house painted, it's easier to ride the momentum. But again, in the last 30 days, in what most contractors say is slow season, we're still able to get contractors in front of their ideal qualified client and for them to close at a high percentage, right? And what we want to avoid, and what happens a lot, is a lot of contractors often get burnout and they get stuck on the tools, and there's no motivation to look elsewhere to scale or implement new systems in their business, right? And what we're going to go over is why the $30 million franchise was winning. It's not because they were doing anything spectacular in the sense of how they were getting their leads. It's the exact same process that a lot of contractors are getting their new opportunities. But what happened was, again, the speed to lead and the systems that they implemented after they got the lead was unmatched. It was bulletproof. As soon as a lead comes in, you're getting a call or a text within the first 5 minutes, which they had a dedicated follow-up team. Again, called immediately, consistent touches, and their booking discipline, even when, most importantly, when an opportunity doesn't go to that estimate right when that first call is made, they had that system in place where tracking and accountability was held across the board. So I say all that to say new leads and ads aren't the magic. Again, we've worked with so many contractors where they've worked with other marketing companies, and that's the marketing side that they were focusing on, right? Getting new opportunities in the door. But where we come in is we focus on the back end system that actually allows you to convert these opportunities. So it's not new leads, you need new leads, or you need to run more ads. Is you need to have the systems in place to support the new opportunities that you're getting, and which also gets supported by speed to lead. So the solution that we have is in phase one is a database reactivation. This gives you a fast ROI. We are able to identify where the leads come from, how the leads are handled now, what you guys define as a qualified lead, and we identify the leaks. How fast is your speed to lead currently? What happens when a booking opportunity gets over to the next step? How does your quoting process work? And what does your follow-up look like? From day 1 to 2, we're going to import and do the tracking setup. So we're going to import the lead list / your opportunities that maybe you have quotes that go out that never went anywhere. So we will re-engage with them, kind of see what their temperature is like and see if we can move them up the pipeline. Someone might have submitted a lead and they never got a call from you guys because, you're just so busy. So we're going to track for the contacted, booked, the show, the quote, and the won opportunities. And day 2 to 7, we're going to do an outreach execution. So we're going to call and text. We're going to follow up with multiple attempts. We're going to rebook missed appointments. We're going to revive dead quotes, and we're going to confirm and remind you when booked estimates are scheduled on your calendar. So this equals when bookings go on your calendar, only the qualified opportunities will go on your calendar. You're going to get confirmation plus reminders. This helps reduce the no-shows. And then the trial promise of one qualified estimate in 7 days or you don't pay. And we're so confident on that because we have yet to not be able to deliver in such a short amount of time to show you that it's not a lead issue. It's more of a systems issue on the back end, right? And then if that goes well and we tighten up your system and you guys feel as though you guys want to go to phase 2, now we can talk about doubling down on ads. And this is what we call just adding gas to what is already working, adding fuel to the fire. So we're going to scale this only once phase 1 is proven. So once we know that the speed to lead is tight, we have a follow-up cadence that is proven, and your booking process is clean, we can start launching ads. We can target certain service areas, create a simple offer that will attract your ideal client and not tire kickers just price shopping. And then we put the leads into the CRM, and then the same follow-up machine happens. We'll call, we'll text, and the cadence runs daily. And then we'll book estimates for you guys to go out and actually give the quotes. We won't be doing the estimates, obviously. We're just setting them on your calendar for you guys to fulfill. And then we just have weekly optimization where we go over the show rates, the quote rate, the close rate, and the cost per book estimate, just so we can double down on our numbers and just make things tighter and just more cost effective and efficient. And this brings us to the new normal. What the new normal will look like for you is consistent estimates, higher show rates, and a faster decision made when an estimate is booked, because we're going to provide you with the templates and systems that'll help push these opportunities up the pipeline a lot faster, which will equal less leads and less wasted time of dealing with opportunities that are not serious, which ultimately will equal more revenue without more chaos. So if you're interested in this, learning more about it, taking advantage of the 7-day trial, feel free to message where you were first engaged with, whether it was email, text, or DM, to set up a call and take it to the next step and just add more efficiency to your business and create more systems that allow you guys to be more off of the tools than on the tools and actually scale your contracting business where you're not putting out fires every single day. Looking forward to connecting with you guys and taking your contracting business to the next level. And we'll see you guys on the other side.